Hello, this is HBM's Crypto-Corner for Wednesday, February 10th, 2016. We got some really good stuff to talk about today, so let's get started. Dr. Jeff Meldrum has come out and has sort of, you might say, what's the word I'm looking for? He's kind of distanced himself from the recent Bigfoot Captured show that was aired on History Channel a few months ago. Um, It surprised some people that the credible scientist Dr. Jeff Meldrum would be a part of the show. In this radio interview, he talks about his role in the show and how he has no control of the final product. And he makes a good point. I mean, he's right. He doesn't have final control of the product. So really, I don't put any blame on Jeff Meldrum or John Bindernagel for being part of that program. I imagine they were probably misled into thinking that they were going to be part of this great documentary that was going to highlight their research and their findings and things like that. I don't imagine they probably knew or were told what it was really about. So they were most likely deceived into participating in this. And that seems to be pretty common, unfortunately. I've heard rumors that the World's Greatest Hoaxes special that was aired on Fox back in late 1998, that the producers deceived Mrs. Patricia Patterson, and they gave her a contract that said World's Greatest. It did not say World's Greatest Hoaxes. And they deceived her into signing the rights to the PG film to them so they could use it. And of course, she didn't know they were going to use it to debunk the film or try to debunk the film. So, anyway, next story. Okay, can somebody tell me what this is? It was photographed at Moose Lake, Minnesota. They apparently have some kind of creature there called Carl, a 10-foot Sasquatch. This is something in the photograph, but why is there a red circle? Wouldn't it be kind of obvious that whatever it is there? Why put a red circle around it? I mean, as you can see, the video right here has no red circle. You can see the object right here. Now, they claim that the photo came into the subject, whatever it is, came into the photo and then was gone after about 10. It apparently says out of the photo, into the photo, out again in 10 seconds, without a trace on the photo before or after. Now, what is it? What the heck is this? I mean, I'm not so sure we'll ever really know. I would hope that somebody goes to the location and maybe makes a comparison with the object, whatever it is. They stand at the same spot. I think that would be helpful. I think it would be. Hey, it's called documentation, and I think documentation is all important when it comes to this subject. And as far as finding evidence or documenting something that you may not be completely sure of, I would love to see some documentation done on this and some follow up and some comparison. But for now, this remains a mystery. Back in the 1800s, several papers would publish stories about wild men and other strange anomalies. Now, usually these things were described, as I mentioned, as wild men, as boogers, paints. Even this one is described as a wild man, and there have been some creatures that were described as gorillas, wild gorillas. And could these possibly have been Bigfoot? Um, the article here asks, were these wild men just men who lived outside of society, or could they be what we now know as Bigfoot? Interesting story to say the least. And we have a representation here, a sketch, or I guess a wood carving, but that does not really match the descriptions of the Sasquatch. That looks more like some kind of a goat man or something. It appears to have, I guess these are supposed to be the ears or horns or something like that. It's got these floppy ears, or maybe these are the horns, I'm not sure. It has claws. This puts me more in mind of the Wendigo. By the way, I'll be talking about the Wendigo here in a little bit. But this is from 1856 in the natural state Arkansas. And Arkansas, of course, is well known for the Fouke monster. And there have been reports from other areas of sightings in the natural state. So, who knows what this could be? This next article asks, what does a real Bigfoot look like? Well, I can tell you, it certainly doesn't look like this. You can tell that's somebody in a costume. I mean, look at the folds in the suit, and I mean, it looks like it has glowing eyes or reflecting eye shine. But there's so much that you can do with technology these days, Photoshop and CGI and things like that. Um, Here's the original trail cam picture. It appears to be walking a little bit like Patty, somewhat like the PG film subject. I personally think this one's a hoax. That's what I believe. I mean, look, just you can tell by looking at it. I mean, it may be in black and white, but not too difficult to tell that that's a hoax. It makes you wonder what were they thinking when they were trying to fool us with that. In recent years, there have been many discoveries of ancient humans and ancient human ancestors. One of the most recent and one of the most intriguing was the Homo Naledi. Well, there's now a website completely devoted to that ancient species of human. And there's videos and all kinds of interesting posts and things of that nature. Mostly documentaries, which you can watch online. Really fascinating stuff. I mean, and some of these recent discoveries have really turned the world of anthropology upside down. And I think the discovery of something like Sasquatch would certainly be something that would turn anthropology upside down even more. And that I think that's going to be a red letter day for anthropology, but not just for anthropology, but I think for all humankind. Finally, today we're going to talk about an ancient legend from the Native Americans. This is the Wendigo. You can see it appears to be some kind of an alien. Almost looks like something you'd see on the X-Files. Apparently, the Wendigo was this legendary creature which was actually a human turned into this vicious man-eater. Apparently a cannibal of some kind. Look at this. Here's another artist's interpretation of the Wendigo. You can see that it has some antlers. It has these ears, these pointed ears, and a snout. This creature is also known as the Wendigoag, or the Windigo, or Windigo, or also Wintigo. Actually, the plural form is Wendigoag. Ah, okay. When we take a look at this particular interpretation, It appears to be almost like a Sasquatch, except it has antlers and it has these long claws. This is pretty. I mean, these are pretty scary looking interpretations. Though. Look at this. We have more antler, another antlered creature. Then an alleged video of something called the rake creature. But as I pointed out earlier, it's pretty easy to create videos and create CGI content these days. Just about anybody can do it, really. A couple of quick announcements before I shut this party down. Number one, on my channel this week, I've been reviewing the new creature replica figures, and I already have 2 reviews up. On Monday, I reviewed the North American Sasquatch, and yesterday I reviewed the Himalayan Yeti. Tomorrow I'm going to review the Horror Hound, and then finally on Friday, the Louisiana Rougarou. So stay tuned to this channel for those final 2 reviews. And this is a terrific action figure line. These very well sculpted, very well articulated. And the nice thing about these is they're not your typical kids' toys. They're not for kids, really. I mean, these are for adult collectors, and they are really well done. And Dean St. Jean and Jeff Byers and all the other guys at Creature Replica, they do an excellent and amazing job. I really have nothing but good things to say about these figures. They are terrific and they are tremendous. My second announcement is that March 1st will be the announcement of the final speaker for this year's Ohio Bigfoot Conference. So check the Facebook page or go to ohiobigfootconference.org and you can find out who the 4 speakers that have already been announced are. Well, the first speaker that was announced, I believe, was Bob Gimlin, and that was back in October. Then Cliff Barrickman was announced. Then Guy Edwards. Maybe Guy was announced second. I think Guy was announced second. Then Cliff. Then finally Sibylla Irwin was announced in late December. So March 1st will be the announcement of the final speaker for the Ohio Bigfoot Conference. It should be great. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to going to the conference again. This will be my 7th time going to Ohio. Been there 6 previous times, and it's always a lot of fun. It's great to be with your friends and see them again. It's like a family reunion. It really is, and that's what it's similar to. And I always have a lot of fun, and maybe do a little bit of squatching. I don't do a whole lot, but when I'm in Ohio, but it should be great. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, that's it for this week, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget about my creature replica reviews right here on this channel. By the way, of course, as always, all the links that I'm talking about today will go right below this video. So, until next week, y'all be good or be good at it. This is May-HBM's Crypto Corner.